Hello and welcome back. This is the question and answer session for Transforming with Breakthrough Dance Company. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. So this is an interactive Q&A, and we're so glad that folks have already started sending us questions. But if you would like to submit a question and haven't yet, please feel free to use the chat in the YouTube Live for this video. Or you can also text us at our Google number, which is 608-957-7232. And with your question, please include your name and where you're from. And also in your questions, feel free to ask about our creative process, how we've adapted during the pandemic, about any of the pieces you'd like. Really, we would love to hear from you. So now we're going to introduce ourselves. You'll hear from all our members who are going to mention their name, how long they've been in Breakthrough, and their favorite style of dance. My name is Nona. I've been in Breakthrough since 2015, and I'd say my favorite style of dance is ballet. Abby will get us kicked off next.
Hi, everyone. I'm Abby. I've been in Breakthrough since 2015, and my favorite style of dance is hip hop.
Hi, my name is BJ Lee. I'm from Kentucky, and my favorite style of dance is partner dancing, and I joined June of 2018.
Hi, I'm Caitlin. I joined Breakthrough in 2017, and my favorite style is jazz.
Hi, I'm Deanna. I joined in the beginning of summer of 2018, and my favorite style is hip hop.
Hello, I'm Jessie. I joined Breakthrough in June 2016, and my favorite style of dance is tap.
Hi, I'm Mandy. I joined Breakthrough in 2017, and my favorite style is ballet.
Hi, I'm Marissa. I joined Breakthrough in January of 2018, and my favorite style is also tap.
Hi, my name is Shona. I'm a co-director and member of Breakthrough, and I joined when it was founded in January 2015. My favorite style is also tap. Back to you, Nona.
Thanks, Shona. So now we're going to dive into questions, but a few notes before we begin that. So I'll be facilitating, mostly directing traffic among members. And then BJ and Marissa will be mostly off camera because they are very generously going through your questions and making sure that we get the questions in an order that makes sense and that we're not doing the same questions over and over again. But if they answer questions, they'll come back on video. So now for our first question, what have Breakthrough rehearsals looked like this year? Shona, will you get us started?
Sure, I'll do my best. So first I want to say that early in this year, in January, we were celebrating our 5th anniversary. It was, pre-pandemic times, and you might have seen in that slideshow, we had this like beautiful group shot because it was just such a fun thing to celebrate. But as the pandemic hit in March, we moved to virtual rehearsals right away, really took that safety seriously. We took the opportunity to bring in some guest instructors, mostly folks who are local to Madison, like Erin, who taught us a ballet class, Liz Sexy, a contemporary dancer, and Heidi Hackseth, a jazz dancer. But we also brought in Jazz, a dancer named Jazz, who taught us hip hop from Canada. And that was just like such a fun experience that we really wouldn't have been able to do in normal times. After that, following Dane County Public Health's ordinances, we started to do outdoor rehearsals as safely as we could with masks, physical distancing, all of that. But it was really, really a great time for a lot of our members to safely practice together and come together at a time when that was really hard to do. We did, for most of these last 7 months or so, we did alternate between virtual rehearsals and outdoor rehearsals so everyone could feel included, and everyone was included. And due to weather and things like that, it did get harder as the daylight started shrinking to continue with outdoor rehearsals.
Thanks, Shona. Our next question comes from Liana from London, and they ask, what has been the most challenging part of continuing to dance considering COVID? And so Caitlin and then Jessie will be taking this question.
Hi, I think one of the kind of big challenges was with moving our rehearsals from a dance studio to either indoors or outdoors. Indoors, there was a lot of space restrictions. my apartment is, you know, I don't have a ton of room, and I have downstairs neighbors. So it's kind of being considerate of not kicking furniture and not, you know, keeping good neighbor relationships. And then outside, I think really the biggest challenge of outdoor rehearsals was bugs. I did accidentally douse my mask with bug spray once, but only happened one time. So.
While I wasn't able to take part in any of the outdoor rehearsals, I was incredibly grateful that we were able to pivot so quickly to home rehearsals so that we could continue to move and come together as a group. We ended up using this time, as you saw in the performances, to really explore what it looks like to do pieces that are constrained by either our boxes on Zoom or, as Caitlin had mentioned, with our home spaces. So really gave us the opportunity to look at dance in a different way and still be able to come together collaboratively and especially safely, which as a public health person, I greatly appreciate.
Thank you both. Now for our next question, Rachel from Boston. I have a feeling many of us know this, Rachel. How have you grown artistically or as a dancer during the pandemic? Let's go Abby and then Shona.
One of the challenges of dancing remotely is choreographing together remotely. And for the piece Moral of the Story, we wanted to collaboratively choreograph. And one of the challenges of doing that over Zoom is that there's a Zoom lag. The video lags a lot of the time. And so you might be hearing the music at one point, but the rest of your group is hearing the music maybe 2 or 3 seconds later. And one of the challenges that I faced with that is that I usually really go by the lyrics of a song when I'm learning a dance or choreographing a dance, and not by the counts. And I actually had to learn how to do the counts to a dance because we couldn't go by lyrics because of that lag. And I see people laughing because everybody knows that I do not do well with counts. And so I did have to sort of learn how to count to a dance because of choreographing remotely and virtually working together with the group for Moral of the Story.
Yeah, I think that's such a great point. I also want to say that I think that some of the limitations that the pandemic, caused and having to dance from home, dance outdoors, things like that actually inspires creativity in kind of a roundabout way. That's an old improv trick is you limit your set of movements, for example, and then that sparks all these new kinds of creativity. And so I do think that we did a lot of these dances that were kind of unique to this year and things that we would not have done otherwise. So I think that was, a really great silver lining of this time. The other thing I would say kind of about growing as a group anyway, is that I think we really showed a lot of community. That's something that Breakthrough has had as a strength since its inception. But I think all of us really appreciated just how much this time and this group of people were here for each other this year.
Absolutely. I think the pandemic really forced us to think about dancing for video especially, which is something we had often discussed in Breakthrough as something we wanted to do, but had never gotten around to it. And this really pushed us into doing this. And I was so excited to really be thinking about dancing for video in that way. So now for our next question, Matt and Claire from Madison ask, how did you coordinate the music over Zoom with the delay? Mandy?
As you saw, we did National Water Dance. We participated this year, but that was our very first piece that we did at the start of the pandemic. That was a live stream, and we decided to just roll with it. We knew that everybody wouldn't be exactly at the same time, but decided that it was kind of beautiful the way we sort of rippled. Another way we adapted with music was for It Runs Through Me. Rather than rehearsing to a song altogether, we each took a section of it, rehearsed on our own, and then put it together at a later time.
Great, thank you, Mandy. So for our next question, Roxanne from Kentucky asks, does it make it extra challenging to choreograph dances for various dancing backgrounds? Caitlin will get us started off for this one.
Hi. So I choreographed Red Desert, which was the first piece in this show, and I've choreographed for Breakthrough previously. And it makes it a little bit challenging because sometimes, a lot of times when I choreograph, it's because I hear a song and I start to like see a dance in my head or like get the feel of a dance. Then it's like, okay, how can I put that in my body? And then it's just making sure, because we really value like community and inclusivity, how can I make a dance that will be fun and enjoyable for everyone to be a part of? So it usually goes kind of through a couple of iterations. But mostly what's in my head isn't really a fully formed dance. So by the time I start to move, I'm already kind of thinking about how can this be something that everyone can learn. And this year especially, also, I was going to be teaching outside. We weren't going to have mirrors. So just kind of taking all those things into consideration to choreograph.
Just to briefly add on to what Caitlin said, Caitlin does a really, really great job of choreographing so that everyone feels included. But one other trick that we use is to, keep that in mind as we're choreographing and to do various versions. We're really, really mindful of, for example, movement limitations that people have. A lot of us have been, not all of us, but a lot of us have been dancing since we were kids and feel all the body aches that you get as you go into your 20s and late 20s and 30s. So whether it's a different dance background that people have or limitations in your body, we try to be accommodating to all of those things.
Thank you. So our next question is from Kyle from Milwaukee, who asks, could you tell us about a moment when it felt like things were finally going smoothly after the transition to quarantine? Abby will get us started.
So I think one of the moments where it felt like we were finally sort of hitting a groove was when it runs through me when we first saw the finished product for that wonderful video that the project that Mandy really spearheaded for us, and it just having that product as something that everyone in the company had contributed to and that really was speaking to the things that were getting us through such a challenging time. Seeing that final product is like, look, we made something, was so rewarding and like gave us really that faith that we could produce things during this time, that it wasn't just a time to write off as like, oh, we're a dance company and there's a pandemic, so we can't do anything. It really was like, we can adapt, we can transform.
To build on to what Abby said, I felt that once we got in the rhythm this summer of doing one virtual rehearsal and then one in-person socially distanced masked up rehearsal, because it was so nice in the outdoor space to be able to do our practice, see each other, film our dance so that we could practice on our own if we wanted, because that was really a rhythm we had been in from our rehearsals before that. But then with the virtual rehearsals, slowly started to see that we could do small group projects and could choreograph things together, even though it required a lot of creativity to think about things over Zoom. So now for our next question, Wayne from Carroll Stream, Illinois asks, did people stop and watch you on your outside dances? And Mandy and then Jesse will take this one.
Sometimes. A lot of our outdoor rehearsals were at University Bay Fields, and it's just this giant field, and it seemed like there were always activities going on around us, like people going for walks with their dogs or playing lacrosse. So there was a lot of activity anyway, but sometimes you'd see like cars going past and people kind of looking what was going on. One time a passerby just joined in, which is great. I think you might see us around town sometime because we kind of got everywhere, as you can see in the videos.
So Mandy and I actually got the opportunity to do some filming in person for It Runs Through Me. She very kindly met me in Wingra Park on a beautiful June day. And as I was going through and practicing my piece before we filmed it, we noticed there was a couple with a hammock set up in the park, and they got up and decided that they wanted to dance along as well and try and figure out the choreography at a distance. So not anything that we had expected, but made for just a really entertaining experience to see this other couple that decided to dance along with me and my nutcrackers.
I love that. So now for our next question, Jason from Kentucky asks, when did you all film your individual videos for Running Through Me? So It Runs Through Me. So Shona can take this and I can add on.
Yeah, It Runs Through Me. You know, I guess one thing I'll say is that the show order is not exactly chronological. And if you do watch this show chronologically, you kind of see our arc or our journey through the pandemic. So It Runs Through Me was pretty early on. I believe it was May or June, and everyone recorded individually. We kind of gave people a, you know, end goal, end date kind of thing, and put it together. And Mandy did the beautiful editing for that piece.
Yes, it was our first project during the pandemic, as Abby mentioned. So now for our next question, which I'm finding in the chat, Anne from Middleton asks, what does dancing with a group like Breakthrough mean to you? Deanna will get us started for this one.
Dancing with a group like Breakthrough is just so incredible because everyone is just has all these different talents, and we like find new things that we always want to explore together, and that's just such an amazing thing. Especially as said before, we always want to make sure that people are comfortable but are still exploring, and there's just so many things, and to know that we could transition so smoothly into virtual and just keep things going is just amazing. And then Jessie.
For me, Breakthrough, even pre-pandemic, meant it was a space to get together with people that had a common love for dance, for being creative, for getting together in a group where it's okay to make mistakes as you're practicing. It's okay to admit that you have injuries or that you've had a weird week and you're not going to do something full out, with the full expectation that no matter what, you will bring your full self and your full abilities to a performance. And being able to keep that throughout the pandemic and know that we had that safe space to come together to rehearse, to practice, to create as a group, and to be able to have, I think, a really lovely performance at the end of a very, very weird year is incredibly meaningful for me. Glad to be here with everyone.
Mandy?
I think we've all experienced the fact that we need normalcy, we need routine. So to have our weekly rehearsals as we did previously just felt so good, and it was something to look forward to, especially when so many things have been canceled. So it kept us going.
Absolutely. So tonight, sadly, we won't be able to get to everyone's questions for the Q&A. We're so glad that there are so many, both coming in through YouTube Live and the chat. So thank you so much. So now we're going to be moving on to our last question, which is from Steve and Jody in Arizona. And they ask, how does someone join Breakthrough?
So I can take this. So we are a no auditions company. We accept members on a rolling basis throughout the year. And as you've heard throughout, our members come from all sorts of backgrounds. So some of our members have been dancing their entire lives, and others of our members joined Breakthrough with no dance experience, no official dance experience whatsoever. And I think that's what makes Breakthrough a really, really unique group. You know, I joined with some dance experience from when I was like a little kid. And if you had asked me, like when I joined, if I thought I would choreograph for the company one day, I would have laughed at you, right? And now having been in it for 5 years, I've choreographed a couple pieces, and it's just been amazing. So it's just a place where people, regardless of their background, can grow as dancers and as choreographers and just as creative people. So if you're interested, please contact us for more information. You can reach us by email at breakthroughdc@gmail.com or through any of our social media accounts. Yeah, please reach out if you're interested. We love new members.
So thank you to you, the audience, for joining us tonight. At one point, we had 100 people, or at least 100 devices on our live stream, which is so exciting and really exceeded our expectations for this event. And please, we are asking for your support tonight, and there's a donation link in the description to this video, also in the description to part 1 that you watched. And a portion of those donations will go to Feeding America, which is really important right now, especially as we go into this pandemic winter. And we hope that you'll follow us on social media if you feel so inclined. You can find us on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. And there you can keep up with what we're doing and also see our past work. So we hope that you have a wonderful Friday evening. Thank you so much again.